So, coming from Reuters, China's Meituan says new AI model trained on domestic chips. So, this is kind of an interesting story with the whole idea of, are we winning yet? We were told by Trump that we would get tired of winning. And I have to say, your parasocial daddy is pretty tired right now, but this honestly doesn't feel like we're winning. So basically, what's going on right here is they have come out with a new model, supposedly like the largest model in the world, trained on 1.6 trillion parameters. And the interesting thing for this Chinese model is apparently it was trained on 50,000 Chinese servers. So supposedly, we are being informed this was trained on entirely domestic Chinese hardware, which is a hell of a thing, right? The big thing between the United States and China, the United States has been trying to kneecap Chinese progression in the world of AI because we have been informed that AI is an existential risk to humanity, and so whoever wins the AI race wins the world. To be clear, as a technology professional, I just don't understand the argument. Look, we're in 2026. I'm still like, what? That just doesn't make any sense. So, anyways, since we're in this existential race with China, we're trying to prevent China from getting AI hardware. We prevented them from getting NVIDIA GPUs for a while. We're trying to prevent them from getting ASML digital lithography machines. Not only prevent them from purchasing from ASML, but literally trying to pressure ASML to not support the $400 million piece of equipment that China has already purchased, which, that's a hell of a thing. But basically, we have been pushing. We feel that we have the right to tell the Chinese population that their civilization has progressed far enough, and we would feel more comfortable if they stopped. Now, China, being essentially the factory of the world, being kind of smart people that probably don't like the idea of people half a world away telling them where their civilization should stop, they have just simply been moving ahead. And that's where we've seen with Huawei. They came out with their own smartphone processors years ago at this point in time. They came out with their own operating system, Harmony OS, years ago at this point in time. They came out with their own AI accelerators. They came out like about a year ago at this point in time. And basically, they're just moving forward. We're telling them to stop. And gosh darn it, they're just not stopping the way they should. And the big argument out there, the big argument is like, well, they might be progressing in the artificial intelligence race, but the whole point is that but they're so far behind us. And, day by day, that argument becomes ever more questionable. And that's where we get to this thing from Meituan, or however the hell you say it. So they have their 1.6 trillion parameter model, apparently all trained on domestic Chinese processors and accelerators. China's food delivery giant, Meituan, said on Tuesday it had released and would open source its next generation LongCat large language model, claiming it is the world's first trillion parameter AI system trained and run entirely on a 50,000 chip cluster powered by Chinese made processors. So that's the other interesting thing to be thinking about too. 1.6, so this is going to be a 1.6 trillion parameter model. And, as Chinaman do, they are going to open source it. Hey, look at this amazing thing that we are going to allow anybody in the world who wants to use on their own. And so this was all done with apparently Chinese made hardware. Meituan said the often compared to DoorDash is a late entrant to China's crowded and well-funded AI sector, where rivals include DeepSeek and ByteDance Dubao. The LongCat team, founded in 2023, only launched its first model late last year. I think that's the other interesting thing to be thinking about this, with how fast China is progressing in so many things. So they did their first model. Their first model came out last year. And now they're doing a 1.6 trillion parameter model. Although the company did not disclose how the new model, LongCat 2.0, will be integrated into its existing business, Meituan has used earlier versions to power in-app AI assistants that recommend restaurants and hotels and complete tasks such as ordering food and booking rooms, part of a quote an agentic commerce trend rival Alibaba has accelerated this year. I also do think this is interesting, kind of what the Chinese AI companies are doing, is I really feel like they are trying to solve problems first. So this is a food delivery company that has their own problems that they need to solve, and they are creating this AI model in order to solve their problems. What we see so much in the Western world is that they create the models, and then there's a big question about what the hell do you do with this model that's been created? And I think what's interesting, we see the Chinese way of doing things is really, it's about execution, execution, execution. If you can't execute, if you can't provide value with this new technology, then does the technology itself have value? LongCat 2.0's reliance on Chinese AI chips underscores the growing importance of self-sufficiency in China's domestic AI market as DeepSeek, Alibaba, ByteDance, and other major players work to reduce dependence on U.S. chips to train their models following export controls imposed by Washington since 2022. Chip makers, including Huawei and Inflame, have moved quickly to fill the gap left by U.S. chip makers, gaining market share through supply chain deals with AI developers. LongCat 2.0 was trained from scratch using 50,000 domestic chips and can process inputs of up to 1 million tokens, allowing it to handle ultra-long documents, according to the statement. A preview version of the model had already become one of the 3 most used models on OpenRouter, a globally popular AI marketplace. LongCat 2.0 matched or exceeded several leading proprietary models, including Google's Gemini, OpenAI's GPT 5.5, and Anthropic's Claude Opus on some coding and agentic benchmarks, they claimed. I also do think this is kind of interesting with the whole on some coding and agent benchmarks. So one of the big arguments in America right now is like, well, they're good, but they can't compete with our frontier models. But the American frontier models are trying to do everything in the world and make you a sandwich. Like one of the weird things with how the U.S. is doing things, you hear these models come out, and the idea is that your car essentially should be able to drive you and be able to come up with a Shakespearean play at the exact same time. Right? And that's how you know our models are so superior. And the big argument that I've made for a long time right now is I don't need my car to be able to come up with Shakespearean poetry or plays or whatever else. I need my car to move me from point A to point B. One of my arguments against general intelligence, I actually think artificial general intelligence is a bit of a waste of time. Like why do we need this? I need my car to drive me. I need my airplane to fly me. I need my whatever, my scheduling system to schedule things. I don't need it to be a general intelligence. And so I do think this is going to be curious kind of going forward. Like, if the Chinese viewpoint is to focus on technology that actually solves specific problems, then what's going to be curious is if the American mindset is to come up with artificial intelligence that can do everything. Then, in many ways, the American AI companies can always claim superiority over the Chinese models because look at all of the things our models can do. While the Chinese models can only do very specific things very well and very inexpensively. And this is where rhetoric, right, and this rhetorical argument over technology can lead companies down a very bad path. Right, as I've talked about before, you can be 100% right and 100% fired. Right, you can go in and you can be right. You can be right when you're interacting with the boss, but you can do it in such an obnoxious way, you still get fired at the end of the day. Right? Here's the thing. You can be 100% right in your argument that your product is technically superior to one of your competitors, and you can still 100% fail in the marketplace because the customers don't care, right? Your competitor is offering solutions at a sixth the price that solve your customers' problems. You're offering a feature set that does 1,000 times more than what your customers need and expect your customers to spend 6x more on your particular product. No, they're going to go to the product that solves their problem at a very good price point. And that's one of the things I'm getting very concerned about right now in the whole US versus China thing, where we are, I've talked about this for a while. We are putting things out on Truth Social. We are making arguments. China is making technology, right? Do you get where I'm going with this? I don't know. Let's see here. Quote, LongCat 2.0 has demonstrated that we now have the capability to train large-scale models on domestic computing clusters, the Chinese tech giant said, without naming the chip maker. And so if they're able to create a 1.6 trillion parameter model today in June of 2026, where do you think they're going to be in June of 2027 or 28 or 29 or 30? How much longer are we going to be able to pretend that somehow we are so much superior, in the technology world to China, that they are the also ran? I think that particular argument is losing steam, right? You compare this with a CXMT. So I talked about this where Apple right now is groveling on bended knee to the Trump administration to beg to be able to buy DRAM from CXMT. So CXMT is a memory manufacturer in China, was created in 2016, and now creates DRAM of the quality that Apple wants to put that into their systems that they charge, thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars for. And so basically what we're seeing at this point in time is that if China has not caught up very technically to the level that we're producing at, I think in many ways they're close enough. Most people genuinely don't care at this point in time. So yeah, that's where we're at. What do you think about this? What do you think about 1.6 trillion parameter model being trained on entirely uh, Chinese domestic chips? If we're in 2026 and this is what's happening, what do you think about 27 and 28? How are you feeling? How are you feeling about our Operation Kneecap against the Chinese people? Do you feel like it's starting to turn into like a technical version of the Bay of Pigs? I think it's starting to feel that way, at least as far as I'm concerned. Anyways, put your comments down below. If you like these episodes, do remember they're on Spotify and on Apple Podcasts. Link is down below. Also, if you want to follow me on LinkedIn, there's a link down there too. With that, see y'all later.